It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. If you're listening to us in the first hour, Kelly Wilson now joins us here in the second hour. So, Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Friday and happy Veterans Day.
I was going to say it's also Veterans Day, so thank you to all the servicemen and women out there. Again, we thank you for your service to our country. And yes, it is a Veterans Day. I did notice the traffic on the roads was a little bit light this morning as well. I don't know how many people have the day off as a result of Veterans Day, but traffic was a little bit light. Did you notice anything different on the roads this morning?
No, it seemed normal to me.
Seemed normal to you. Well, you're much closer to here and than I am. I have to drive in from Lutz each and every morning, but definitely noticed a difference.
Are the government offices closed?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not really sure what shuts down.
I took my trash out this morning. I was like, I wondered. Everybody else had their trash out.
Yeah, I
like,
imagine the government offices are closed. The general businesses, and I'm sure the banks are closed. Banks shut down for any reason they can get to take a day off. You know, that's bankers' hours.
Well,
but
I know my daughter's thrilled because the schools are out today.
Yes, well, that's probably another reason why the roads are light.
Yeah,
no schools going on today. So, well, let's go ahead and bring on our guest for this segment. We have returning guest Bevan Rogel to the program. She is the president and founder of Encore Tampa Bay, and you can learn more about this at that website, EncoreTampaBay.com. So, Bevan, welcome to the program again.
Welcome, Bevan.
Thank you, Jamie and Kelly, for having me today.
Absolutely. So, for people that are not familiar with Encore Tampa Bay, tell us about this.
Our mission is to help older adults to discover, retool, and connect to whatever is their encore. As you think about your encore, is finding purpose and meaning and new pathways in your life. And we've created a network of resources and organizations that are committed to helping adults do that.
So that's where Encore comes from.
We're part of a social change movement really around the boomer generation that has decided to redefine what work and retirement is going to be in the second half of life.
Interesting. So how did this come together? You founded this when, and what was the inspiration for
3.5 years ago, and because I'm an Encore career story, I've been in business for about 35 years in leadership development and organization development, and I had kind of a period of time where I became an empty nester. My father was critically ill, and I began to think about, I feel like I'm in the fourth quarter, and I really want that fourth quarter to count. And my husband said to me, "You're not in the fourth quarter because that means you'd be dying next week. So you're in the second half." And I said, well, okay, I'm in the second half and I want to make it count. And it turns out that's what boomers are thinking all over the world. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what my purpose was. And it wasn't until I found Mark Friedman and nationalencore.org that I realized that there were 81 million boomers who could be thinking the same way. So that's when I started Encore Tampa Bay, because I believe that if we can help people find their encore, it not only strengthens their lives, but the organizations that are involved too.
Yeah, I love it. I love the name. I love the whole aspect of it. I love the fact that you're encouraging individuals at any age to continue going towards their path and fulfilling their dreams ultimately. Yeah. And I think so often society, family, many people suppress and put back and hold off on any dreams or anything that they may have wanted to do in the best interest of their family. And unfortunately, we need organizations like yours to help them to see their path and encourage them to go forward.
Kelly, that's it. It's my time now. I've done all that my job, my role as a mom or a dad or a soccer manager or
the show's
whatever.
not over.
The show is not over.
This is your encore, which just happens to be Encore Tampa Bay.
I love it.
Exactly.
And you were saying that you were in leadership development in your first career, and now you're doing Encore Tampa Bay. Yeah. So is Encore a national program?
Encore is a national nonprofit organization, but I am actually an initiative under the Community Foundation of Tampa Bay. They've been a great organization and supporter of me, has allowed me to be a nonprofit under their organization, and has been a great support to me. So I am a national Encore Network leader, but I am also a an initiative in the Community Foundation.
And what are the services then that people can get from Encore Tampa Bay? And is there an age where people have to be before they can receive services?
No, we do not check the IDs at the door, and we have people coming to see us at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. We've had people at 80 come in and talk about, well, I'm ready for my third encore of whatever it is. But we do a couple different things. We've created an Encore Academy where we offer workshops, discussion groups, and programs to help people to discover what their purpose is, as well as to retool. But really, in order to broaden this impact, we've created a network of organizations. And, even our guest speaker today and people like Julianne and others that are part of a network that are committed to helping older adults either figure out what they want to do, if they want to become an entrepreneur or get a new job. We've got a great network of organizations. So it's really that networking and collaboration that really broadens the impact so people can say, here are places that we can go.
I think it's great, too, just to have the encouragement, be surrounded by those other like-minded individuals that'll encourage you and say, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can have the encore that you desire. You have to put the work in, to get there and to achieve it and maintain, but you can do it.
You help people become, business owners, entrepreneurs. What about people who just want to get back into the workforce and as an employee somewhere, job placement services?
Very much so. And as we're going to talk today about just this financial reality is that so many people are really at this point where they don't have enough money. And so we're more and more, 3.5 years ago, I would say more people were saying, I want to volunteer, or I want to do this, but more and more people are saying, I need to stay in the game. Mm-hmm. I need to earn money. We were living longer, so we haven't planned for that amount of money that we're saving. And boomers are the worst savers of any generation in the history of America, so we're in trouble.
Right, and you say 50% of American workers over 50 have saved less than $100,000 for retirement.
Is that not shocking?
Yes.
I had to look that up in 3 different sources, and it is true. So that really speaks a lot. And 25% are already digging into their savings because they're, a lot of people who've been laid off, longest term unemployed.
Absolutely. And so many still recovering and building back up from being hit so hard, years ago.
So what are baby boomers saying? Well, Social Security is going to take care of me. Is that kind of what they kind of fall back on?
And that, and that's part of, again, what we're committed to doing at Encore Tampa Bay is to help boomers understand. Not that we are the financial experts, let me just tell you that right now, but we are partnering with organizations that help you educate that. And I think for people to understand that, knowing what you need to know about Social Security and when to dip in and when not to, there's some fine line print that you need to understand along the way. So we're partnering with organizations to help educate people on what they need to know with that.
It's interesting because my dad is set for retirement here very soon, and he sent me an email after the election here and said that he'd lost $200,000 under the last Republican president, and he hopes this one fares much better. But he did mention that he said, I didn't hear any talk from Donald Trump about the elderly, about retirement, and it brought up an interesting point because now whether we're talking about this, but I don't really, I was thinking, I don't remember really what he talked about for the baby boomers. Did he
really
give us some planning for that?
It's ironic that I came up with this topic of retirement truce is that the number one thing that shaped our election to this year was economic stress and insecurity. And it was the boomer generation that's the hardest hit that were the ones that said, we need to make change. And so this is really an important issue. And it was shocking to see both candidates not talking about, the boomers are the second largest generation. And we have 81 million, so we can really reshape what our society and our world is about, and nobody talked about it.
When people are coming to you at Encore, are they coming to you first because they just want to return to the workforce because they truly want to have that encore in their life, or are they coming to you because, I need money these days. My financial situation is dire and I've got to go back to work. What are you seeing from the people that come to Encore?
It's really across the board. In 3.5 years, we've touched thousands of people's lives, whether it be at events or programs or whatever. There are some people who come and say, I'm just really not happy with where I am, but I'm scared to leave the comfort of who I am to go do something else. Other people have been, their husband left them, they've been laid off. There's external events that happen, and so then they're coming and saying, I'm panicked about
there's circumstances that lead them back to you. And then there's others that are saying, I'm just not done yet. I have more to give, and they want to be involved.
Right. That's exactly right. So it's all over the place. And what we say to people is there's not 10 steps to this journey. It's a journey of internal reflection. It's about exploration. It's about experimentation. It's trying new things. And the number one thing that stops people from that is fear. Mm-hmm. And the fear of what happens if I fail, what happens if it doesn't work out. And so, we're together saying life is not over. Failure is a great opportunity to learn new things.
I think that's normal at any age. You know, no matter where we are in business, we always have that concern. So.
And longevity has altered, how we do financial and retirement planning. I mean, the current retirement age is defined, to be 62 or
62 or 65.
And people are living easily into their upper 80s and 90s now. We're going to have to make some amends to how we work and how we do our retirement planning these days. It's, Social Security is only going to last so long. I think it's set to run out without any changes in like the 2030 or something, I believe it is. And so the baby boomers will at least be able to draw from the well, but future generations may not be. I don't know. So what are you hearing?
I think that the reality and part of what really is the wake up call, and what I want to say to everyone is that these not new, but these financial realities is forcing us to really rethink how we're going to go about redefining work and what I call unretirement. So really what that means is not just going after a job, but looking at other alternatives and ways for earning income. And that's really an exciting part of what I want to share with you all today. Is there really some very cool and innovative, just like we talk about the gig economy, the shared economy, we talk about working online, we talk about freelancing. So there's really part of the message here is you don't have to go out and look for the same job that you did before. You really can look at your do the homework and get in the game and look at what are some other parts of it. And again, what Encore Tampa Bay does is help people narrow down what their interest is. Because if people know what they want to do, they're going to be better off selling themselves and being motivated to find that job. If they're going to be out there looking for the same job, they're going to be like,
oh no, I think passion helps. When you feel passionate and you're encouraged and you feel like this is, you own it, like this is you, then it makes it much, much easier to transition and to be successful. But going back to retirement, I think so many people thought that they were, saving and really building towards their retirement. And unfortunately, in 2008 and 9, and when the economic demise kind of hit, so many people lost any means of retirement that they might have had. So depending on what age they were and where they were, now they may have, been doing everything that they could have possibly been doing.
That's why business ownership to me is so critical. You want to be in charge of your own future.
Exactly.
Start a business, and that way you can keep drawing from that well.
Now entrepreneurship doesn't look so bad. Before it was always like, you need a 401,
Baby
you need
boomers
retirement.
weren't taught to start their own businesses.
Let me tell you the good news that 25% of entrepreneurs today are age 55 to 65. 1 in 4 people age 44 to 70 are either in or wanting to be in the entrepreneurship business. So going out on your own is a great solution and it's a win-win because people are, the ageism is alive and well. They can't find the job. So go out and be your own boss and go for that dream that you had.
But when you were younger, was the mentality to start your own business? It wasn't. It was to go, get a job and work for 40 years and retire,
Our
right?
mantra was go out there and get a job, and you stay in that job till you retire.
And
that was our mantra.
Benefits and your retirement plans.
Yeah.
But,
right. So this is really new. I mean, we're made for being successful entrepreneurs because of our financial and business background and our networks that we have and some of the money that we have. So it's prime. It's really an exciting time. And again, I appreciate what you do, Jamie, with your show because you're highlighting those success stories of people who have been entrepreneurs. And that's what we want to keep doing is saying, you can do this.
Yep. And we want to also let them know about the resources they have available to them, such as Encore Tampa Bay here. And people can learn more about this at that website, which is EncoreTampaBay.com. We're currently talking to Bevan Rogel, the president and founder of the organization. We've got another segment with her when we come back from the break on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank. And that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
The southbound I-75 ramp to westbound I-4 has been cleared. Still seeing stop-and-go traffic along westbound I-4 from the Selma connector into the 275 interchange. And an accident in Pinellas County has the southbound lanes of US 19 blocked south of Bel Air Road. You can also take Belcher instead. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
Cooler in the morning, then mostly sunny in the afternoon with a high 78. Tonight, mostly clear, low 58. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and warmer with a high back in the 80s.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Bevan Rogel, founder and president of Encore Tampa Bay, and you can learn more at EncoreTampaBay.com.
When searching for jobs later in life, what tips would you provide to make that less stressful and more successful?
I think one of the most important things is when you're laid off and you're panicking about your money is don't just go run off and go, oh my gosh, I got to get my resume up and I got to go after the same thing that I was doing before. Again, part of it is paying attention to and stepping back and reflecting on even what you were talking about in your earlier show. Find out what your strengths are, what your interests are, what your motivations are before you just jump in and go after what you have right there. One of our network organizations, Find My Perfect Job, says to people, you have to really start with the beginning of what is your product and what is it that you want to be doing. And if you're motivated and know that this is something that you're after, there are jobs out there that are still wanting experienced workers that are out there, and going back to using your talent and skills in different ways in different industries, or freelance work or consultant work. I mean, those are really booming opportunities for boomers.
And really probably true at any age.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Great advice for any age, really.
It really is. Uber, they're the number one age group that they use are age 55 to 60.
Really?
Are the drivers that's there. So we love helping people and connecting them to other great resources that help. But Real Estate Lives has great they can help you with networking, and Tampa Bay Job Links with job search skills. And St. Pete Workforce Institute has given some earn to learn courses to really get back in the game. So we're proud of a lot of the resources. We have a great workshop coming up on next week called The 4 Keys to Successful Job Search. So we're very committed to helping people and not panic and say, focus on that.
And you are starting the new series, the Health, Wealth, and Best Self series.
Yes. So
tell us about this.
The Retirement Center research came up with, this is a recent survey, of the top 3 things that people our age are most concerned about is, do I have enough money to live? How do I stay healthy to stay in the game? And what is my best self and living life on purpose and what I want to do? So we're going to, in the next 10 months, partner with some of our great companies in the community who really are doing this work. And so our first kickoff series is on December 7th with Raymond James, who's been a tremendous partner with us. And so it's really a co-presenting event. We've talked to Raymond James about some of the most important questions and burning issues, and we'll talk a lot about that. And I will also be co-presenting what are some of the opportunities for prospering and earning income. So it's it's a free event. It's at Raymond James, and we want to do them. We're looking at doing the health and the best self at the beginning of next year.
Very cool. How often are you going to be putting out these different workshops under the Health, Wealth, and Best Self series?
Well, we're doing those 3, and it'll be over the next 10 months, so stay tuned for that. The other thing we're doing is what we call Encore Connect Pathways events. So we want to invite the older adults to come into the room with resources. So we're going to do an entrepreneurship franchise showcase. We've done a nonprofit showcase, and doing one on looking and learning about new different kinds of jobs and how we can retool. So we'll invite resources that help on the job search end, as well as organizations that are looking for openings in their jobs.
That's great.
All right, a good discussion. We got about a minute left real quick. A tip for employers who think they're facing age discrimination, or how to play their resume when they think that they may be overqualified for a position. What would you say to them?
I think attitude is most important, and not to get sucked into what other people are saying about you. And you go in there with a positive attitude. Get in the game, upgrade your technology skills, talk about the skills that you've learned all your life and the results that are there. And if you go in with that positive attitude, I think that it will help a lot with that ageism thing.
All right. Bevan Rogel, thank you so much. A good discussion here on this early Friday morning.
Jamie and Kelly, thank you.
Thank
so
you for
much.
what you do. Thank you.
And you can get in
We
touch.
love
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Bill Meyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Bill Meyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there. And I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
1250 winds weather center forecast. This Veterans Day is going to be a nice one. It'll be a chilly morning to wake up, eventually warming into the upper 70s under lots of sunshine. Upper 50s for the low. Upper 70s, low 80s through the weekend. Look for that rain to hold off till early next week. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 winds, WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show. Now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Learn more about this program, and you can also see the live video stream over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, we put up a lot of short video clips over on our fan page, Facebook.com/That Business Show, and those always do very well with the views and the shares. So we appreciate the support all the listeners and all the past guests give us with promoting those. And also, if you'd like to get onto the program, we invite you over to tbsinterview.com, where you can see the FAQs and the requirements for coming onto the program. Again, tbsinterview.com. Time to bring in our next guest here for the program. We have Liz M. Lopez. She is a business success speaker and trainer, and also working with people on professional resume and LinkedIn ads and LinkedIn in general as well. And she has some other service areas as well relating to business, and we'll discuss that throughout this segment. Learn more about her at lizmlopez.com. And she is a returning guest to the program. So, Liz, welcome back to the program.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Jamie.
Good morning.
Thank you, Kelly. It's really nice to be back.
So, first off, just give us the pitch of your business, a little bit more specifics about what you do.
Sure. My business is really divided into 3 parts. It's called Captivate Your Audience, and it really centers around branding and telling your story, whether you're a professional or a business owner. So I do have a component of the business that is executive resume design, along with cover letters and LinkedIn profiles, and I work with clients all over the nation that are looking to advance their career. The second piece of the business has more to do with, the speaking part. So I'm traveling. I was just in Yuma, Arizona a couple of weeks ago doing a presentation on the importance of a positive customer experience. And then there's the business consulting piece where I'm working with companies and a lot of small businesses to talk about how do I present the value of what I do and do that in a manner that customers respond.
Okay, so let's start with the resume and the job seeking aspect of your business, playing off of what Bevan was talking about with seniors returning to the workforce. And so let's talk a little bit about returning to the workforce or just getting into the workforce from an employee's perspective. Step one is you probably got to have a resume. I was taught growing up that a resume is supposed to be 1 page in length, but give me some tips. Am I right on that? Can it be longer?
Everything has evolved so much, and resumes are kind of like cars. Every year there's a new model. So what worked in resume design and the styles and the keywords and what worked functionally to actually get through these applicant tracking systems last year may not work this year. So when you have people who are either coming into the workforce new, whether they're older or younger, but specifically older professionals who have been in a career for a while and now are facing a transition, they're usually trying to kind of update a resume that's maybe 10, 15 years old, and they are not in line with what employers or the job market is expecting today. So first of all, the first part is really knowing what you want and having a clear idea around that. And then second of all is in creating those documents, your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, to really tell that story powerfully and in a way that's accepted in today's job market.
And isn't it true to cater it to whoever you are submitting the resume to? So don't just have one general resume that you're blasting out to 30 or 40 different companies. Isn't it right that you should cater it to what that company is looking for that fits you the best?
You should have a baseline. So your story is your story, and what your value is that. However, when you're applying to different positions, you want to pay attention to what are their priorities. So maybe you need to reorganize how you have your skills listed on that resume to better match that particular job. You want to replicate some of maybe their language in your cover letter. So while you're going to have a basic foundation in all of your documents, especially with the resume and the cover letter, you're going to tweak that a bit to make sure that you're really reflecting the message that employer is putting out, and in terms of attracting the right candidate.
So if something resonates with you within that job description and you think, wow, that's me, that fits me perfectly, make sure you're highlighting that and that's standing out in your resume so that it connects.
Absolutely. The resume first usually has to make it through a series of computer systems before it even reaches a human being. So these resumes nowadays have to be written dually. You have to be able to kind of beat the system, so to speak, and then when it finally arrives at a human being, it's got to resonate to a human mind.
How should seniors that are returning to the workforce deal with the overqualification situations? Maybe they had very high position in their corporate position or owned their own business, and now they've got to return to the workforce because they're facing financial difficulties. Should they work to downplay some of those successes that they've had in their life to fit the position that they are applying for?
It's about tailoring your story to where you're going in the future. And that's a struggle for many of them because they have to give up things that they're very proud of. Mm-hmm. But it's really about tailoring that story to really fit what you're looking for going forward.
So it's okay to roll back some of the qualifications to fit the position that they are looking for. That way to not, automatically weed them out because it's like, wow, this person was a rocket scientist and he's applying for this entry-level position. That just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, and I really favor very honest cover letters where that can also be addressed. And, some employers read the cover letters, some don't, but it's also an opportunity to kind of tell your story there and also say, look, I had this fabulous career, I'm coming back for kind of to do some work and do some good and kind of create some income. However, I'm not really looking to go back to either a leadership role or a senior executive role. Here's how I want to contribute, and this is why I want a position in your company.
So it's important to brand yourself as an individual, just as a company brands themselves to their consumers. You got to create a brand then for who you're trying to fit in within the corporate culture for whoever it is.
Absolutely. Either the more personal your brand, the more unique it is, and the more relevant it is, the better.
Now, you mentioned the cover letter, and in discussions you hear, you need a cover letter, you don't need a cover letter. I don't even really know what a cover letter is, to be honest with you. I mean, I've heard so many different discussions about it, so I want to cover that here. What is a cover letter? Should they always be used?
They should always be used, and here's why. I had participated in this wonderful event about a year and a half ago, and there was all these people from HR there, and they asked a room, well, do you read the cover letter? And half of them said no. Half of them said yes, and of those, they were split in half, like they always read them, and then other ones said, well, I read them if I need a tiebreaker. Well, you don't know which 50% you're going to get. So always use a cover letter. It's a way to differentiate yourself, and it's a way to demonstrate interest in the job. And a cover letter basically is a piece of material that kind of demonstrates, says what job you're looking for, why you feel you're qualified to do that, highlights some of your best experience that's relevant, and then just invites them to talk to you. That's a really big part. You got to ask for the interview.
No, I would think cover letters would be very important. You have to stand out in any way possible. So any opportunity you have to make an impact, so you said earlier that it goes through computers and it's a while before it actually meets the person. Are there computer systems that weed through resumes in any way, or how is that process?
Yes.
How does that work within corporations?
Statistics run anywhere between 70 to 90% of corporations now using some kind of applicant tracking system. And these can be kind of general items, or they can be customized for that particular company. But what mostly happens is that these resumes are either getting scanned in, or you apply digitally, which is what's happening more and more. And these kind of go into a central storage space, so to speak. And when that employer needs candidates, they put in certain keywords, or they enter a job description, and that system spits back at them, here's all the people that kind of best match those jobs. So if you can't make it past that matchmaking process, that electronic process, then you're not even going to show up to a human being.
Yeah, you've got to win the computer over first. That's kind of scary.
What websites are popular right now, or the best sites out there for job seekers? I remember when I was younger, it was Monster.com. I don't even know if Monster.com exists anymore. I've not been there. What's on the market now?
They do, but the big player in the market right now is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has made a massive move into getting into this job market, and they want to be the premier connector of candidates and employers. And if you look at pricing, I just did a presentation to a group recently where an ad on Monster is about $400 and something, an ad on LinkedIn is $195. So they are coming in powerfully, and they really want to position them as the premier place for employers to find a candidate.
Yeah, I am not great with social media, and Matt Ashwood is giving us tips every Tuesday with what's trending. But LinkedIn is one of the sites that I have worked with. That and it is probably my favorite to be on. You're surrounded by all professionals. You don't have to deal with all of the political and all of the other just pettiness that it is professional. And I have quite a lot of connections, but I have a lot of the people that I've met, a lot of the great business associates, a lot of mentors, advisors, people that I've worked along with for the past 3 or 4 years are relationships that came out of LinkedIn. So I highly recommend whether you're job searching or not. LinkedIn,
so if you're a job candidate,
outlet.
You should have a LinkedIn profile with a resume, and people are actively looking at LinkedIn for candidates these days versus in the past where I went to Monster.com and found the jobs.
You certainly can use the other sites, Career Builder, Monster, Ladders, Indeed is one of my favorites, but you definitely have to have a presence on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you want to create it very carefully. I advocate two things. First of all, I don't think that your LinkedIn profile should be an exact replica of your resume, because then when they ask for your resume, it's the same thing. They get nothing more. And conversely, I don't advise my clients to attach their resume to the LinkedIn profile, because I prefer for them to be asked for it. And recruiters are very active, and if they're interested in you, they're going to ask, they're going to reach out, and that way you have more control of that relationship and that interaction.
One thing I like about LinkedIn, and I think if I was younger, I would have utilized it more, but building up those recommendations and just having them sitting right there, I think LinkedIn is an excellent portal just to start building up those referrals or those recommendations that you hear so much about getting for yourself. How would you advise?
to do it all the time, not just when you're looking for a job. You have to nurture your network every day of the year. Whether you're spending, 10 minutes a week or, an hour a month, whatever it may happen to be, spend time nurturing those relationships. Continue to always update your documents, your profile, your resumes. I cannot tell you how heartbreaking it is for me when I get a call from someone who says, the job of my dreams has been offered to me. I got to turn in a resume tomorrow. Well, a quality resume doesn't happen in 24 hours.
Yeah. Right.
So you got to be ready for opportunity.
Right. I remember LinkedIn I think it was 2014, and I didn't have a presence on there at all. And someone had said to me, you need to be on LinkedIn. You need to start building, who you are and your mission and get on there. And I remember I may have had 1 or 2, 3 connections. And I thought, okay, but you have to start somewhere. Everybody starts at the beginning at the same place, and, you build up. And I think today I have close to 9,000, and these are great, great business advisors, CEOs, but everybody has to start somewhere. And here we are, 4 years or 3 or 4 years later, but I've worked at it and I've stayed consistent with it. And I'm not so great at updating all of the information, and so I need to work on that. But there are other different programs to help do that for us, like the Constant Contacts or the Hootsuites and different things, where if we're going to post somewhere, we can have it post to our LinkedIn so that we're adding value. I don't know what you would say, or adding information, content, I guess.
Absolutely. As a business owner or professional, you kind of really need to think about what your strategy is for communication and engagement. And if you are going to be someone who's posting on a regular basis, you can either do it directly on LinkedIn, or you absolutely can use a tool like Hootsuite, plan it in advance, know exactly what you're talking to, but also pay attention to the kind of responses that you're getting. I like to tell my clients, feed your audience what they like. And by knowing kind of what kind of responses, what kind of likes, what kind of comments and shares you're getting on your different posts, you can really analyze what they're responding to the most and then plan your future post accordingly. So staying visible, very important.
Currently talking to Liz M. Lopez, business success speaker and trainer, and also works with people on resume and LinkedIn, and along with other things relating to business. And learn more about her services over at lizmlopez.com, or give her a call at 727-510-3505. Coming back from the break, I want to talk with her about how LinkedIn relates and how business owners should be using LinkedIn. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal, and most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
We're still in pretty good shape, but westbound I-4 is slow moving from the Selma connector into the 275 interchange. An accident with roadblock in the northbound lanes of Nebraska Avenue north of Fowler. And a wreck in Pinellas County along Park Boulevard just east of Seminole Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
Cooler in the morning, then mostly sunny in the afternoon with a high 78. Tonight, mostly clear, low 58. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and warmer with a high back in the 80s.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and also live video stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. Talking to Liz M. Lopez, business success speaker and trainer, and you can learn more about her at her website, which is lizmlopez.com.
And we were, before the break, we were talking about LinkedIn. And in reference to LinkedIn, if someone is just getting started with that, how do you suggest that someone gets started, and how in the best way to use LinkedIn?
Yeah, interesting that you should ask that. I just taught a workshop yesterday called LinkedIn 101 for working women of Tampa Bay. And the first place to start is that you really need to think about your brand. You need to think about who you're speaking to and what you're trying to communicate, and create a profile that matches that. And LinkedIn has a lot of fields that for you to fill out, and you kind of have to pick which ones are going to be most relevant to you, and really have all of those fields support each other in the storyline that you're creating, and also make sure you include a call to action. So if you're really good at talking on the phone, invite people to call you. If you have a brick and mortar that you need people to come to and either buy from your store, your restaurant, whatever it may be, put your address on there, put your hours on there, invite them to come see you. If you're really good by email, invite them to email you. But make sure that you are always inviting people to engage with you in a manner that to create relationships.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to connect with people all over that you wouldn't normally be able to connect with. And you'll have so much, I've found over the last few years of me utilizing LinkedIn that so many people reach out. They want to meet for coffee. They want to just talk about like similar synergies that you might have. A lot of times, they want to be inspired too, but they're reaching out. And and I've even talked to people from California and all over the world that have, New York and different places that have reached out, and just, you can utilize the phone conversations. And we've done a lot of those too, but I would have never thought that you'd be, talking business with people all over the world.
And I noticed they charge now for the in messaging if you're reaching out to people that you don't know. And I don't know if you have an experience on how their in messaging system works, but you can contact pretty much any professional, from celebrities on down. They're all over. They're all there. If you
subscribe.
But you got to subscribe to their in messaging service.
But you can do a lot even without being subscribed.
Absolutely. There's a ton you can do without that because, as you start expanding your network, you get access to not only your network, but their network as well. Right. So, a couple thousand people can become millions very, very quickly. But if you do want to have a greater reach, if there are people you want to engage with and you need that in-mail, you can buy those.
Yeah.
Small investment, and you can have an amazing reach to have conversations with individuals that you otherwise would never really have access to.
Right.
And the receivability of that is fairly high in LinkedIn as long as you're kind of approaching them from a genuine way. If you're trying a sales pitch, you're not really going to get that much of attention. But if you're coming through from a relationship building perspective, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, someone had mentioned that someone had told them that if you're going to reach out to LinkedIn, a lot of people like to give. They like to help. So sometimes even just asking for their advice or asking, that they like that. They want to offer it back.
Yeah, I think that comes down to customizing your message because a lot of times I'll accept a connection. I'll immediately get a message, which is their sales pitch that was just copy and pasted, and that immediately gets deleted. But if they customize a personal message, like they say, hey, Jane, been listening to your show, love the guests, I'm going to respond to that person. But if they just give me a quick pitch, then I'm not. So you got to look at who you're connecting to and customize.
Absolutely. This is a tool. LinkedIn isn't magic, as no other platform is magic. And it doesn't eliminate your responsibility to be good at salesmanship and good at relationship building and good at networking. So if you don't have a really good engagement plan and strategy, it's not going to work. Because we go to business meetings, the people that approach you and start out with their salesy pitch, they're not well received in person. They're not going to be well received in these social platforms either. So you have to be really responsible about how you're presenting your story and how you're approaching people.
And it's about building the relationship and taking the time to cultivate that, and consistency with any site or any type of networking that you're going to do. Consistency and being out in front is key. I have one question. You talked earlier in the show about captivating your audience. If you had to pick one method of doing that successfully, how would you best, what advice would you give to someone to captivate their audience?
Are you talking practically or you're talking kind of preparation?
Oh, overall, just in general, whether it's your brand or whether it's on a particular site, or what do you think is the best way to captivate?
It's really about knowing yourself. You really have to know how to express your value in a way that is relevant to the well-being of your audience.
Genuine and
absolutely.
Being genuine with that.
You really have to be honest, and have to know how to communicate that. It doesn't matter how great your product or service is if you cannot communicate that in a way that your audience responds to, believes, and wants to buy into.
All right. So we're talking to Liz M. Lopez again, focusing on resume design and LinkedIn services, two of the 4 areas that she focuses on in her business. Briefly, I just want to put out there, you also develop content for businesses and websites, correct?
Correct.
And also you are a speaker and trainer. What type of speech and training presentations do you do most of?
Well, the most popular one that I do are the LinkedIn 101 and the LinkedIn 201 series, where I go into organizations or corporate groups and I train, a lot of times their sales force, their business development force, on how to create that strong presence and then how to use LinkedIn as a sales pipeline. I also travel throughout the U.S. doing other topics. I talked about having been in Yuma, Arizona a couple weeks ago, talking to their Visitors Bureau and all of their members about the importance of a positive customer experience. And I also have a very popular keynote speech that I do that's about the 5 steps to accelerating your success, which is relevant both in the business side and on the professional side as well.
All right. Liz M. Lopez, a success speaker and trainer. Learn more about her at lizmlopez.com. Liz, good discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie, Kelly. Great to meet you, and thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you can also reach out to her via phone at 727-510-3505, 727-510-3505. lizmlopez.com. Wishing everybody a great weekend and also happy Veterans Day, and thank you so much to all our servicemen and women that are out there for the service that you have given to our country. Kelly, thank you so much for your service to the show this week too.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy.
And we'll see you back here Monday morning at 7 a.m. on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.